Hello, guys, and welcome to the Cowboy in the Hawk's Nest podcast. It's me, your host, Aaron, again. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video for a week. I will detail why that is. But on the docket for today, highlights include the rumored Dak Prescott deal, the Seahawks signing someone, some Sounders news, and some World Soccer news. But first, let's get into why I haven't uploaded a podcast episode in a week. That would be because I haven't found any worthwhile news to cover besides the Bundesliga, and I wanted to come after the first weekend had come out of football. The news that did happen relating to the Seahawks is a cornerback named Quentin Dunbar, if I'm not mistaken, got accused of armed robbery. And I personally do not think that is something that I should be covering on this podcast. I should not be delving deep into legal matters and discussing necessarily the ramifications for the individual on legal cases, because that is none of my business as a fan. In my perspective, purely something that the athlete should handle themselves. And you will never see me reacting to any sort of legal trouble from any players from Dallas or from Seattle or from the international soccer leagues. What you will hear me doing is just saying that the particular player has gotten into some legal trouble and will miss games during the season because of it. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less, just the facts. Now let's get into this Dallas Cowboy news. To start us off, for the past couple of years, we've known that Jamal Adams, the safety from the New York Jets, has been unhappy and has said that he doesn't mind going to Dallas. And Dallas certainly wants him because their secondary needs a little bit of help. And Jamal Adams is a beast of a player, leader as a man and as a player on the field. There have been rumors of Jamal Adams requesting a trade, and I would agree that Jamal Adams should request a trade, whether it's to Dallas or to any other team that is worth any level of competent thought in the NFL. Jamal Adams should go to any team that has competent management, because clearly the Jets aren't either. They fluke one against the Cowboys and ended up finishing, that's right, second to last in their division. I believe they just edged out Miami, but just. In other news, it has been leaked to the press that Dak Prescott was offered a 5-year, $175 million contract. Now, I feel like it is generous. It is roughly a contract worth around $35 million a year. There have been reports that Dak turned the contract down, and it's not that I think it's false. I think he's okay with the $175 million and whatever they guaranteed him in the first 4 years. Dak doesn't want a five-year contract unless it has an incentive at the last year, in which he wants around 45 mil and possibly a little bit north of 45 mil in that final year. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to that if we prorated his contract to where he gets, instead of 35 million in the first year, or in one of the years he gets 25 million. So we can add that extra 10 million to make it 45 million in the last year of his contract. I definitely would not be opposed to that. And I would be willing to guarantee, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd be willing to guarantee probably about $115 million worth of that contract, because so far he has not missed a game and only once missed a practice. So the availability is there. He might not be a top 5 quarterback, but he's top 10 in this league. I couldn't put him any less than 10th in the league. And I think that's worth giving a multi-year contract to. In other Cowboys news, Aldon Smith has been conditionally reinstated. This goes a ways to make the Cowboys one of the premier teams in the league, because with Aldon Smith being reinstated with his domestic abuse case, that is the reason why he was suspended from the NFL. I think that gives Randy Gregory a pathway to get back. Randy Gregory, if I'm not mistaken, was indefinitely suspended from the NFL because of habitual marijuana use. Now, marijuana use is far from a serious offense when compared to a domestic violence case. So, I'm thinking that since the NFL started this precedent of allowing Smith to come back conditionally, I think that Randy Gregory will come back conditionally, and the Dallas defensive line is going to be fantastic. Whether they run a 4-3 or a 3-4 defense, because they're going to have, if reinstated, Randy Gregory on one edge and DeMarcus Lawrence on the other edge. They're going to have Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy in the middle, and Neville Gallimore if we go to a 3-4. I much rather like the 4-3 though, because the linebackers that we have are coverage linebackers, and I see Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, and Sean Lee being great in coverage and just go-getters off the snap. And there's this little story about LeBron James, where in 2011 the NBA was on lockout, and he and his personal trainer were training for NFL football, and he got offered a contract by one Jerry Jones. LeBron could have been a 6'8" insane tight end. That would have been an insane story to break. and an insane move to pull off. I think it would have been a successful one because he is athletic as all hell. Oh, that would have been great to see. Alongside Jason Witten. Oh, we might have actually gone to an NFC championship game with LeBron with the rest of the talent that we had if he stuck to football that long. Anyway, that's enough of the Dallas Cowboys for now. Time to move to the Seattle Seahawks. First story, it coincides with the Aldon Smith reinstatement because Josh Gordon is looking to be reinstated again, and the Seattle Seahawks still have rights to him via the contract that he signed. Now, I've heard some commentators saying that this would be a bad idea for the Seahawks to take Josh Gordon back after the reinstatement. And I'm thinking, who the hell do you think you are? This is Flash Gordon, man. On the field. He's an amazing speedster of a wide receiver that is tall, can get jump balls. He's just a great complementary player to play alongside DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. This would be great for the Seahawks to get him back if he is indeed reinstated. You'd have 3 amazing wide receivers. The rookie coming into his second year, probably going to still be an athletic monster. And the Seattle Seahawks would have the best wide receiving core in the NFC West. And yes, I know Arizona has Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins. This would be better. And some special news just today. The Seattle Seahawks signed Carlos Hyde, a great running back to fit into the 4+ running backs that they already have. And yet the best player is the quarterback, and the offensive line can't really do shit. It's a great signing. I'm not saying that it's a bad signing. But you should have gone and signed someone else other than a running back. You could try to get one of the offensive linemen that's still available, that's half decent, to stick on the line. Because you let Justin Britt go, and you don't have really anyone to replace him, unless you're replacing him with Posick. But yeah, it's not a bad signing. I like the signing. Plus, I hope you can get us some payback against the Niners. That's enough about NFL football. It's time for some Sounders talk. Because finally, Seattle Sounders FC players are back at Starfire and training. This means only one thing to me. They are getting ready to play again. We will finally have some semblance of live sports along with the NBA, hopefully, in the coming months, that will actually be entertained by sports. And this podcast will finally be able to cover something of note worth besides the draft. I can't wait to see Nicholas Ladero, João Paulo, Jordan Morris, Kevin Leardam, Jovan Jones, everyone coming back to play. Thank God. It'll be coming in the next couple of months. And while we're on the topic of soccer and live sports, the Bundesliga has come back with a vengeance. And it's unequivocally a success because it's at least made Europe happy again to see some semblance of soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. I'll call it both. And I got some entertainment out of it because I watched Bayern Munich versus Union Berlin. And Bayern dominated, no doubt, with possession and scoring. But I haven't seen sports, like actual sports, in so long. I'm so happy that some semblance of sports is back. And I'm going to end it off there on a happy note. This has been the Cowboy and the Hawks Nest podcast with your host, Aaron. And always remember, go Hawks. How about them Cowboys? And born in 1974, Sounders. And now we win like never before, Sounders. We love our boys in the famous green, the greatest team that you've ever seen, the Seattle Sounders, born in 74. Have a nice day, bitches.